Well, here we are again, my friends. Another apartment, another minimalist apartment tour. This one a little bit less minimalist and a little more festive. So when we set out to look for a new apartment, we had 3 non-negotiables. Lots of natural sunlight, 2 bedrooms, and the washer and dryer in the kitchen. There's just something about the aesthetic of the laundry next to your food that says, you haven't quite made it yet. Believe it or not, this is the first apartment where we actually have a coat closet, instead of a place where our coats and shoes are just out in the open. This is one of the smaller details that's actually my favorite thing about the apartment, because I hate a messy entryway. And while Nat doesn't have a ton of shoes, she does have a lot of food-themed costumes. This is our little breakfast nook right next to the entryway. It's also become Natalie's office. If it was up to me, I probably would have kept this corner a little bit more minimalist, but I know better than to go in between Natalie and a faux fur blanket. Just next to this area is our breakfast bar. And I know what you're thinking, a breakfast bar and a breakfast nook? This apartment isn't very minimalist. What can I say? We love breakfast. The kitchen is right in the middle of the apartment. You've already met our washer and dryer. I think the one thing that you always notice about the minimalist aesthetic or minimalist apartment tours is that everything is always so freaking perfect. But we really try to use things until they're unusable, or at least as close to that point as we can get. Case in point, our dishes. They've been chipped to hell over the past 6 years, but we still hold on to them. In my opinion, this is really what minimalism should look like. I also just love something about the random assortment of coffee mugs versus the cookie cutter matching set. And while we don't have many, they do hold some sentimental value. Drawer organization is always important. We found a couple different ways to keep these ones nice and tidy. Okay, I'm not perfect. And that brings us to our living room. I really love this room. This is probably the space where Nat and I spend the most time together. Our favorite part is definitely the couch. I mean, there's just so much room for activities. I mounted our TV on the wall so we can pull it out when we want to use it, but it also doesn't need to be the center of the room all the time.
A lot of people in the room, you need more space. Voila, right into the wall. Wow.
I used some cable hiders and a white HDMI cable to keep things looking nice and clean. We got a real Christmas tree this year. It's the first legit Christmas tree we've ever had, and we love it. Although, if I'm being honest, we did have a months-long battle over whether or not to get ornaments. I was adamant that we should keep it simple with just lights. I lost that fight. One thing that I love about our apartment is that we didn't feel the need to put something in every corner, on every shelf, or every wall. When we see an empty space, we feel like we need to fill it, but you really don't. And when you realize that, it takes a lot of the pressure out of decorating and making your home feel complete. Okay, let's go upstairs. This is our bedroom. It fits a bed. This is Nat's nice end table. And on my side, she said we only had room for a stool. Minimalism doesn't mean that everything needs to be either white or black. So we wanted to go with more dark and earthy tones with this apartment, which I think makes it feel especially cozy. Lighting is really important to me, so we did get some smart light bulbs that allow us to dim the lights really low at night when we're getting ready for bed. I'm actually pretty impressed that we were able to fit all of our clothes into this small closet. My biggest regret in life is this dresser. We were trying to keep our budget reasonable for this apartment, and we thought that this one was a decent price, but it's basically made of cardboard. I definitely would prefer to buy quality once and make it last for life, but hey, mistakes happen. Pretty much all of my clothes fit into the top 2 drawers here. And then Nat's got the rest of the closet. But to be fair, she has gotten much more minimalist over the years, and she really doesn't own that many clothes. This is our bathroom. It's nothing special. This is where we poop. This is where we shower. And this is where we do cocaine. I'm only kidding. We poop in the other bathroom. I want to make it clear, we don't do drugs. And finally, we come to our home office. If I'm going to be honest, it's normally much messier than this. I often leave my gear set up all the time, but since I'm having guests over, I felt it was appropriate to clean up. This is my workspace where I work on all my videos. I've gotten really intentional with all of my gear storage. I've used this IKEA dresser to store most of my equipment. So this is where I put my lenses, cameras, cables, wires, and all the little knickknacks that go along with filmmaking. And on the other side of the closet, I've installed some garage hooks that hold my stands. When you're working with a really small studio space like this, you have to get really creative with how you store and organize things. For me, this is the perfect size office. I don't have to spend a lot of time decorating or buying new furniture, so I can get that stuff out of the way and get back to the work that I love sooner. And actually, I've got this video that I'm making about a minimalist apartment that I really need to finish up. And that, my friends, is my minimalist apartment. I hope you got some inspiration for how to keep your own place simple. Before I go, I wanted to let you know that I'm hiring. I have a few positions that are currently open at my company, Slow Growth. If you've been following along, you know that over the past couple of months, we've made a bunch of hires from writers to video editors, and we've got about 3 positions that are currently open. And so if you want to learn more about that, if you want to work with me and my team, I would love it if you would apply. Go to slowgrowth.com/hiring to learn more about those roles and to apply. And secondly, if you didn't know, I actually have a newsletter that I put out every week. It's a really simple newsletter. I write about self-development, minimalism, and productivity. They are 1-minute reads you get every Friday, and they're intended to give you a little bit of encouragement for intentionally going about your days. And so if you want to get that very short, very minimalist newsletter, go to mattdiavella.com. That's it for this video. I've got to get back to work.